Hi. I hope you're well. Tonight I'm doing a different kind of video. Showing you a little bit more of me. I've had to erase some videos prior to this one because I have very noisy 20-something-year-olds upstairs. It's been a bit distracting. That's okay. Distractions come, right? This is my altar. Welcome to this part of me. You'll probably hear giggling in the background. Nothing I can do about that. I've already yelled. Tonight is Good Friday. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, then you might have witnessed a little bit of different energy from me this week. The last couple of weeks have been an emotional roller coaster. Crying, purging, emotionally severing ties with people that I love. Mostly part of myself. I grew up as a Christian, where it's been one of the most impactful parts of my life. Not so much because my family and friends were all Christian, but because of Jesus. See, not only did I have a difficult teenage life, I also had a difficult childhood. I was molested when I was very young in a private school. And I think it really caused a lot of damage to my parents. Me, for sure. I even remember my doctor's visit being examined. And I actually think that that was more traumatic than the event itself. It was not the only time that I was sexually abused as a child. This was long before my teenage years. But those years were not just traumatic from those events. I experienced a lot and witnessed a lot. My parents, who I love very much, they were very broken people. My dad was an addict and an alcoholic and womanizer, and my mom was working constantly and very cold. So my emotional support came from my grandmother, my mima. And she taught me how to love Jesus and how to seek Jesus in times of darkness. She would sing "This Little Light of Mine." I can remember her singing even before I was walking. Such beautiful memories intertwined with very difficult ones. So walking away from Christianity was never something that I thought I would ever do. And this video isn't about my religious beliefs, because I don't think that I have the right to tell anyone how to believe, who to pray to, who to worship, because I believe that we all have our own path to follow. And for me, Christianity was something that I had to think about and come to my own decision about. Because as much as I love Jesus, there were some things that I didn't love. I didn't understand all of the things that upset me until this week. When I was a child, my mom used to say that I said the strangest things. And thinking back, there were so many things I forgot. And just randomly remembering, I was connecting the dots. But I remember being a very young child, praying for two very specific things. One, I wanted to be married, to have a husband and have a child before Jesus' return. Christianity, we believed in the rapture and the second coming of Jesus, of Christ. And so we all thought that we'd hear these trumpets in the sky and Jesus would descend from the heavens, scoop all of us up and take us with him. Now I have a different understanding of what that really means. But I got what I asked for. I got more than what I asked for. I wanted to be loved. And I have 3 amazing children that love me dearly. The husband, I think in his own way he did. And I did love him. And he was a very huge learning experience for me. And so I'm grateful. If you're watching, thank you for that time. The second thing that I prayed for, remember I was a small child, was the heart of Jesus. I wanted so badly to have a heart like Jesus. Because my understanding of the way that Jesus loved me was so profound. And I wanted to love people the way that Jesus loved people. And I mentioned this to a friend of mine last year, and she looked at me and she said, Sarah, what made you think that you didn't have a heart like that? That you couldn't love people like that? And I just was like, what? That's a good question. I don't know. But it's something I pray for. And that's another prayer that was answered. Because I have the ability to love people regardless of what they've done to me, to others. I'm not saying I've never experienced hate, but I had to work very hard to eradicate hate from my heart. Very hard. But it was something that I had to do. And I think because of where I am now and where I'm headed, I was very involved in ministry in my 20s and 30s and some of my early 40s. I'm 42, by the way, so calm down. But I had two experiences during the years that I was leading worship, and I feel that they're very important to mention right now. There were two different women who were prophets, who were prophetesses. And they didn't know each other. These were different parts of my life that I encountered these women, but I happened to be leading worship for both of these services. And they both had the same thing to tell me. One was that I had the gift of prophecy. Prophetic worship was one that was specified, but that's for my front door. The other thing was that I was connected to Mary Magdalene. And what's very strange about that is that the Christian world, Mary Magdalene is never mentioned other than as an insult, as a woman who was the prostitute. The woman at the well is another. But for me, I took it as an insult. I took it as an insult. Because of how she was portrayed. And I thought, what is it about me that these women saw to say that I was a prostitute? like a prostitute, whatever it was that connected me to her in their eyes. I never really thought about her much over the years because, again, of how she was portrayed. So I put it in the back of my mind. You know, I've been insulted a lot. I have lived a life filled with shame for the things that I had done in my life, the poor decisions that I made, the people that I hurt, doing things that I regretted more than anything. But the more that I looked at her, the more I loved her. Because she was down in the dirt, being accused of horrible things. Things that she may have done. Things that she didn't do. But yet she was still being treated like she was guilty. And Jesus came to her rescue. See, Mary never experienced a love like that. And being loved changed her. She loved her Savior. She loved her Yeshua. She loved her Lord. This week I experienced such a powerful emotion, an energy that I hadn't ever experienced in my life. And it was rage, deep-rooted rage. And what the trigger was the brutality, the violence inflicted on Jesus. By men who are known to be religious. And it broke something in me. Shattered something in me. I couldn't contain the rage any longer. And in trying to contain it, trying to control it, it just made it worse. So I knew I had to sit with it. I had to feel it. I had to honor it and give it the attention that it never received. Then I had to transmute it. I think it was the most challenging thing that I've ever done in my life. But it needed to be felt and expressed. I'm a medium. I have spiritual gifts that I don't think have labels. At least none that I know yet. Even as a child, I saw shadow figures. I felt energies and non-physical entities. Even times that I didn't understand what it was. I remember waking up in the middle of the night screaming because there was a shadow hanging over my bed. And I prayed against it to leave. And it left. Now, I welcome them because I understand what they are, who they are. I had so much fear because I was taught to fear. But fear is the opposite of love. And my journey has brought me down this path of embodying love in every area of my life. In my mind, my body, my spirit, my soul. So I've had to choose a life without fear. And that meant I had to address all of my fear. Being alone, which has become my favorite place, by the way. This journey has unveiled many surprises. Many wonderful surprises. And as I continue on, I'll share them with you. But tonight I want to honor my Jesus. Honor Mary. Honor Mother Mary. They lost the love of their lives. Jesus will always be my first love. In a moment, I'm going to share a song. But I want to thank you for the time that you spent with me tonight. This very long video. And more of my revealing. I've had a colorful life. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. So I love you. I love you. And I thank you, those of you that watch in the shadows, for all the beautiful ways you have helped me on my journey. Good night. This is my version of Were You There?